All right, let's start with cars, and we'll start from a seated position. So get comfy, and you can just kind of get like me in a seated position, or you can sit in a chair or whatever you want. And when I'm bracing the neck while I'm on the ground, I find that it helps to, so you can see me. I find it helps to put my hands down, put your kickstands down on the ground, and then we're going to, as usual, pretend the air is really thick and the rest of the body is encased in concrete. Okay, so when you're ready, we will begin. Grab the air, back it down, and irradiate. Just about 20% to 40% of your power. Chin goes to clavicle, rotate to the left, dump the stuff out the left ear, bring it all the way around, dump the stuff out the right ear, chin to clavicle, halfway, rotate back, always searching for more range. Operating at the biggest range possible, largest range possible, I should say. Once you get 3, 4, 5, whatever serves you best. My neck's a little creaky today. Then we'll move on to thoracic spine. For thoracic, we're going to block as we normally do. Whoa, hug it up. Grab that air, pack it down. Irradiate, flexion. Rotate to the left. Lateral flexion left. Extension and rotation. When you get to the end of that rotation, lateral flexion. Rotate to the right, then a little bit more flexion. Then rotate back to center. Perfect. Rotate to the right. Lateral flexion. A little pop out there. Extension and rotation. Extension, rotation. When you get to the end of that, you can rotate to the left a little bit more before you go to lateral flexion and come down. Flex and rotate back to neutral. If you want to switch your arms over the top, you can. That's fine. If you even want to take a break in between your reps and kind of just reset the spine, that's totally kosher. Grab the air, back it down, irradiate, and flex, rotate, lateral flexion, extension, another little crack there, get to the end of extension, lateral flexion, then rotate right and come back to the left in flexion, rotate right, lateral flexion, dump the stuff off your right shoulder. Extend across the sky. Lateral flexion. Dump the stuff off your left shoulder. Flexion. And then back to neutral. I'm going to come up, shake the arms out, let that blood circulate. And I'm going to switch back to my original position of right arm over left. Just a personal preference. Grab the air, pack it down, irradiate, flexion. You should kind of ratchet up that irradiation as we go through these reps. Extend, extend, extend. Rotate to the right. Lateral flexion. Extension. Flexion. And back to neutral. Whew. All right. Let's go to scapula. Scapulae. Arms out in front if you want. You can put them back here if you want. But we like the thumbs in front so we can see what's going on. Grab the air, pack it down, irradiate. Shoulder blades depress, they go forward, they go up, they go back. Depression, forward, elevation, retraction, depression, protraction, elevation, retraction. And try your best to keep from doing one of these like pop numbers. Other direction. I mean, you can do it, it's fine. It's just not gonna be your scaps working. All right. Moving on to glenohumeral, once you've got your 3 going forward and 3 going backward. Since we're seated, I'm gonna get my legs out of the way for this one. I'll kind of do this diagonal movement here. So externally rotate, irradiate, starting at this closed angle. Now standing would be optimal, but we can still get the, since we're kind of just staying down here and seated, we're gonna get the kind of problem area when we get back to extension. So grab the air, pack it down, irradiate, and across the midline of the body. Up and over, 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 reaching back as far as we can. Then we start to internally rotate as much as possible. Then we adduct towards the midline of the body and hinge that elbow, touching as high up as possible. Everything's under flexion. Extend that elbow, externally rotate, bring it on back around. Tap and go, there's one. Try to keep that rib cage honest. Don't look around a bunch of places. Internally rotate, keep the elbow high, flex, tap and go. And externally rotate, bring it right back around. Perfect, there's two. Touch and go. I like to pull my rib cage down here to keep it from like, hey, look at all this range I've got. Internally rotate. Tap and go. Look at me leaning away here, cheating. Cheater, pumpkin eater. Left arm. Externally rotate. Irradiate. Cross the midline of the body. Bring it up to the end of extension. Maybe pull the rib cage down if you want. Then we start internally rotating, winding that arm up. Keeping it nice and high. Adduct towards the midline of the body. Flex that elbow. Touch the back wherever you can. Try to keep that head up straight. Then launch the hand. Extend and open. On back around. Tap and go. That's one. Up. Get to the end of extension. Fight for a little bit more. And internally rotate. Keep the elbow high. Hinge. And extend back out. Open. Rotate it back around. Touch and go. That's two. Up to extension. Around. Get more. Then we start winding that tissue up. Keep the elbow high. Adduct toward the midline. Elbow bends. And extend. Externally rotate. Open it back up. That's three. Huzzah. Okay. Right hip. So we're going to irradiate. All of the body is locked in concrete except this right hip. Keeping a glass of water or juice or whatever you want on your tailbone. And irradiate. Bring the knee to the nose. Abduct. As we abduct, we're going to internally rotate and go back to extension. Bring that leg back to the midline of the body. Then knee lands right next to the other knee. And we kick right back to where we came from. Externally rotate. Back to that extension. Adduction and flexion. Right back down. That's one. Turn sideways here a little bit more. So flexion. Abduction. Internal rotation to extension. And back to flexion. Right back where you came from. Extension. External rotation. Nice and high. Breathe that knee as high. Through as high as on the way out. Last rep. Flexion. Bring the knee as high up as you can. Try to brush right behind your elbow. Abduct. Internally rotate. Swing that leg out and back. Biggest circle possible with your kneecap. And then back to extension, flexion. And then extension again. Abduction. And we externally rotate. Bring that knee nice and high. Perfect. Right side's done. Moving on to the left side. Whole body's in concrete. Grab the air, pack it down. Moving the leg through like honey. Grab the air, pack it down, and flexion. Abduction. Internal rotation on around to extension. Down to flexion. Kick it back to extension. Abduction. External rotation. Up to flexion. Just make a big circle with your knee. Flexion. Abduction. Internal rotation on back to extension. Adduction. Flexion. Sometimes my anatomical terms get all jumbled up when we're moving kind of quick. You're trying to like map human motion while you're doing it. It's like, oh, we got a little bit of this one, a little bit of that one, and then we switch it, and then it's the inverse, and now the proportions are completely opposite what I just said a half a second ago. Okay, knees, here we go. Find that tibial play. Then we do this one a little bit differently. I'm just gonna lay back right here. I'm going to freeze this femur in place. I'm going to externally rotate, bring heel to hip, then internally rotate, then extend all the way up, then external, and pull back down, internal, and extend, external, flex, internal, and extend, external, flex, internal, extend. Now, when you get to that extension, I want you to keep the shin internally rotated, then pull back down, hip to heel, externally rotate, and extend, internal, hip to heel, external, extend one more time, hip to heel, and extend. Right knee's done. Left knee, freeze that femur, find that tibial play. Shin goes out, shin goes in. We come and externally rotate heel to hip, internally rotate and extend, stopping before lockout, externally rotate, heel to hip, internal and extend, external, heel to hip, internal and extend, external, heel to hip, internal, extend. Now keep that internal rotation. Bring it down, heel to the hip, external, extend, internal, heel to hip, external, extend, internal, heel to hip. One more time, external, extend, and awesome. Good stuff. Sit it up. Take your right arm, hook your right leg, and then I want you to take your left forearm, put your right hand over it, and then pin that shin down. And we're going to irradiate ankle and surrounding tissue. We come into plantar flexion, inversion, dorsiflexion, eversion, slow and crampy. Make that tissue cramp. Send those signals upstream to the brain. And then once you got 3, bring it around. Crack, crack, crackle, crackle. Yoke. When you're done, switch to the left side. Hook that left leg. Hook the right forearm. Pin that shin. Plantar flexion, inversion, dorsiflexion, eversion, plantar, inversion, dorsi, eversion. Up, out, down, in and reverse, in, down, out, and up, in, down, out, and up, and you are done. Good stuff. Okay, so we're gonna get into pancake. Whoa. And we are going to, if you want to get like a pillow and put it under your hips, or a block, or a sweatshirt, or anything to bring your hips a little higher, that's totally fine. And we're going to get to the end of our stretch reflex. So as wide as you can, whatever the end of your active range looks like, we're going to hang out here. If it's like legs in like this, that's what you got, that's fine. But elevating your hips are going to help. Come back a little bit more. So you can just lean your body forward, or you can push your body forward, put your kickstands in the back here and lean forward. We just want to be at the end of that active range, right? So where things feel like, oh, this is about as far as I'm comfortable going. Those little organelles inside of your tissues are saying, hey, that's good for now. So scan your stretch by shifting right to left. You can reach a little bit. It might be just a subtle shift up here. That's totally, cool. It might be something a little more pronounced depending on, how you're feeling. But in about 30 seconds, we're going to start our PAILs rails effort. And our PAILs, our progressive angular isometric load, is going to be down into the ground. Our regressive is going to be pulling back up, okay? So when you're doing this PAILs effort, I want you to soften the knee just a tad, right? Don't lock it out, because we're going to cut off, we don't want to pinch any blood flow off or nerves or anything like that. Pushing that knee down like that is not in the best of interests for longevity. So, everybody ready? Yes, great. So here we go. The end of active range. We're going to grab the air, pack it down, irradiate 20% of our power, working into the ground, thinking to ourselves, what's on, what's not on, what needs to help. Gently ratcheting up that tension like a volume knob. 40% of our power. Whole body's helping, right? Your earlobe should be helping. Your jaw should be tight, about 40% of your power. 50% of your power, pushing those heels into the ground, making a dent in the ground. 60% of your power. Now the whole body is helping here. Make a dent in the ground. What's on, what's not helping? What else can you access? What other tissues can you access? 80% of your power. Things should be a little shaky now. You've got some heat in the system. We're breathing. Safest, greatest effort. Everything on. 100% of your power for 10, 9. Remember, soft knees. 8, 7, 6. Good. 5, 4. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. Now rail it. I want you to flex that top side stuff. Flex your quads. Try to lift your knees up off the ground. Lift your feet up off the ground, rather, as hard as you can for 10, 9, 8. Squeeze harder. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. Don't come out of the stretch. I want you to find a little bit more range, even if it's just a millimeter. A millimeter goes miles in sport, in life, in whatever it is that you want to do. And we'll just breathe. Access that parasympathetic tone. Rest and digest. I mean, maybe you're not digesting right now, but just chill, because we want to teach the brain that this is a safe space. We want the brain to teach the body rather, that this is a safe angle for us to be in. Because if you're super tight and unable to achieve this normally yet, then there's something in the day-to-day that's reporting to your brain that says, hey, we don't need this range anymore. But that's not true. We do. All right, second set. Here we go. We know what to expect this time. We're good and warm. We're going to switch over from parasympathetic tone, chill, to sympathetic, fight or flight. So grab that air, pack it down. If you need to readjust a little bit, go ahead. Grab the air, pack it down. Soft knees, irradiate 20% of your power into the ground, driving those heels into the ground. What's working? It should be a long list of things that are working. Kind of scan and see what isn't working. Are your biceps on? Are your triceps on? Are your earlobes on? Everything. 40% of your power. Drive a little bit harder into the ground. 60% of your power. Everything is working now. 80% of your power. Safest. More. Safest, greatest effort. 100% of your power. Go. Drive the heels into the ground for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now rail it. Reverse that action. Flex the top side stuff on the legs. Try to lift your feet up off the ground. Try to float those legs. 100% of your power. 10, 9, 8. Harder. 7. You got this. 6, 5. Harder. 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. Don't come out of the stretch. Breathe. So we went from high level of sympathetic tone to chill. Just breathe for 10, for 9, 8. We got one more of those. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, last set, best set. Here we go. Grab that air, pack it down. Switching over to sympathetic tone, fight or flight. Get away from that saber-toothed tiger. Grab the air, pack it down, irradiate 20% of your power, driving the heels into the ground. Make sure you got soft knees. Ratchet everything up to 40% of your power. Making a dent in the floor. Here we go. Turning the volume knob up to 60%. Down into the ground. Down. Flex harder. Everything's helping. 80% of your power. Squeeze, squeeze. Safest, greatest effort for 10, 9, you're at 100%. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And reel it. Try to get those feet up off the ground. Float them, float them, float them. Squeeze everything. Flex the top side stuff. Quads are on. Bring the nose back towards the toes, or the toes back towards the nose for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax into that stretch. Breathe. Breathe. See if you can get a few millimeters more. I want 8 big breaths here, please. 8 big breaths. That's 3. Nice work on that. That is, it can be difficult to dig that deep, but doing it safely. And we're doing it under control. 3 more big breaths, and then we're going to sit up just a tad. Maybe we're not going to sit up just a tad. Actually, yeah, we will. We'll sit up and just let some of that tissue circulate. 3, 2, 1. We're not coming out of this position just yet, right? We're going to work some axial rotations from here, and I want you to stay at the end of. So if the end of your range is like right here, right? I can't really move when I come to the absolute end of my range. I want you to operate right about here. Now, if you're not absolutely end range, that's okay, but I want you to favor your. Let's favor your right leg first. You pick one. Doesn't matter. We're gonna do both. Okay. So I've chosen my left leg. Grab the, I'm sorry, we don't need to do all that, but irradiate, and we're gonna take our foot, and from the hip, the foot is going to be the indicator. We're going to turn our foot and try to get that big toe as close to the ground as possible. And think about the femur turning into that socket. Push it down towards the ground as much as you can. Good. Now, under tension, under irradiation, I'm just gonna map my toes with my hands here. I'm going to externally rotate. Now I'm going to bring it around. I'm going to try to get my little toes as far towards the ground as possible. And then come back to neutral and relax. Let that blood circulate just a little bit. That's 1. How you doing? So if you have asymmetries, then I hope I'm not the first to welcome you to the human condition, because that's how it is. All right, so let's that's totally fine. Celebrate your imbalances. It's something to work on. I've got them too. Everybody's got them. If anybody tells you, "Hey, I'm perfect," then walk away immediately, because that person's probably gonna bore you to death. Okay, grab the pack it down, irradiate, and let's internally rotate. Big toes as close to the ground as possible. And then externally rotate little toes as close to the ground as possible. And bring it around back again. Big toes, bring them as close to the ground as possible. Internally rotating that femur, internally rotating that femur. And now we're externally rotating that femur as much as we can. Little toes to the ground. And that's 3. We got 2 more. Internally rotate, half a gajillion, whatever smaller than millimeter, I don't know, but whatever that is, that's all I need, a little bit more. Good. Now externally rotate, whatever smaller than millimeter, I don't remember. And then internally rotate, last rep, best rep. Externally rotate, and Sacagawea. That was like camping. You know why I say that? Because it was intense. Because camping is intense. Dad joke. Okay, so like that one. Hey, I got another one for you. Do you know why Saturday and Sunday are just such strong days? Boom! There you go. All right, they're not weekdays. I kind of gave it away when I said days there, but that's okay. I know. It was the second time I've told that joke ever. Give me like 2, 4, or 5 and I'll clean it up, I promise. Okay, so we're at the end of our range. I'm turning and I'm favoring this leg here. No, chest is kind of going out towards this toe here. grab the air, pack it down. We've got our axial rotation. We're going to irradiate and rotate in, slowly waving to our friends here. And then rotate out, try to get the little toe as close to the ground as possible. Internally rotate and externally rotate. That's 2. Internal, external. That's 3. Internal, external. That's 4. Internal as much as you can. External. And perfect. Okay, so one more thing to do from this position, and it's a hover. So we're going to work, so this is end of active range, We're going to work out of active range. So we've got some room to take this leg. We're going to hover it, we're going to rotate it, we're going to flex the knee, and we're going to land it right somewhere in here. Okay, so what that's going to look like, and you can use your kickstands as much as you want. It's easier if you lean back. So here's the action. Hover, externally rotate, flex, and land it as close to your pelvis as possible. Okay, super easy when you're doing it back here. Hover, extend, abduct, and land like a dainty butterfly. No clunking around, okay? We don't want to just throw the legs around. We want to be responsible with our legs. Okay, so this porridge is a little too cold. This porridge is way too hot. Let's find the Goldilocks zone right in between, okay? So grab that air, pack it down, irradiate. We're going to lift, externally rotate and hinge, and then set that leg down as close to your pelvis as possible without rocking too much. Keydoke. Grab the air, pack it down, hover it, lift, extend, and set her back down. Good stuff. Now we want to stay in this splayed, almost splits kind of pancake, whatever your best pancake looks like. All right, that's 1. Grab that air, pack it down, hover, hinge, and land. Hover, extend, and land. Hey, there's 2. Look at that. Here we go. And hover, hinge, and land. And irradiate, hover, extend, and land. That's 3. 2 to go. And hover, hinge, and land. Irradiate, hover, extend, and land. And hover, hinge, and land. One more time. And hover. Boy, there's a lot going on. If you want to get some water at any time, go for it, right? We're kind of just rolling through here. So, on to the next leg. Ready? Grab the air, pack it down, hover, hinge, and land. Hover, extend, and land. Hover, hinge, and land. Hover, extend, and land. Hover, hinge, and land. Hover, extend, and land. Is that 2 or 3? I think that's 2. Is that 3? All right, 3 it is. That's fine. Well, we'll do an extra one because why not? We'll call this 3. And hover, hinge, and land. 1 extra rip's not going to kill us. Hover, extend, and land. Try to get as wide as possible. This will be 4. I think it's probably 5, but whatever. Hover, extend, and land. Last one. And hover, hinge and land, and hover, extend, and land. Perfect. Okie dokie. So moving right along. So we're going to, from Pancake, all I want you to do is bring the right leg in, and then we're going to transition over into a 90-90. Right? So my legs are in 90 at the knee, 90 at the hip, 90 at the other hip, 90 at the other knee. Okie dokie. And from here, what I want you to do is we're going to find a stretch. We're working our right hip, right? So we're looking and scanning this stretch. And somewhere where your chest is over your knee, kind of pointing straight out over the femur, like running along that kind of line, that's where I feel this stretch. It doesn't necessarily mean that's where you're going to feel the stretch, but the important thing is to find that stretch, okay? And we're gonna hang out here for about a minute once you find that stretch, and then we're going to do a rotational PAILs rails effort into the ground. You're gonna scoop your leg, your foot, like an ice cream scoop. You're gonna try to scoop it through the ground. We're not pushing straight down. It's not a linear movement. It's like if I was trying to, well, I mean, ice cream scoop is kind of the best analogy that I've come up with. So it's this motion that we're going to be doing, pressing down into the ground, not this motion, okay? So, let me find that stretch here for me. And that's about it right there. And the best thing we can do is just focus on our breath while we get to the end of our stretch reflex. So in about 30 seconds, another thing I'll say is that as these tissues open up, you're going to have access to more space, right? So it's going to be very important to always be searching for that end range. So like if I started even 2 minutes ago, if I started way up here, and as I'm explaining things, the tissue's opening up, I'm going to want to keep searching for that maximum active range. Cool? All right, so here we go. In about 10 seconds, we're gonna irradiate, we're gonna grab some air, we're gonna pack it down, and remember, we're ice cream scooping in this circular motion. So we're turning our bone, we're effectively turning the femur internally, okay? Grab the air, pack it down, irradiate. Everything is encased in concrete. You can't really move much on this one. So our PAILs effort is into the ground. Our rails effort is trying to float this foot and kick ourselves in the face. Not going to happen, but I want you to give it your best shot. 3, 2, 1, irradiate 20% of your power, pushing that foot into the ground. Another thing you can do is block your knee with the opposite hand. I'm going to do that. It helps me to create a stronger fulcrum. 40% of my rotational effort, driving that foot into the ground, trying to ice cream scoop through the floor. 60%. Everything's helping. You are flexing everything. Your eyebrows are on, jaws on, everything's on. 80% of your effort, of your ability. Safest, greatest effort for 10, 9, everything's on, hard as you can. 7, 6, 5, squeeze your butt cheek in the back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now rail it, try to pull that foot up off the ground. Try to kick yourself in the face as best you can. Externally rotating that femur for 8. Harder, squeeze. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. Find a new normal with the stretch. Find a new normal. What is normal but a setting on the dryer? And 5, 4, kind of scan that stretch, see what you can get out of it. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Grab the air, pack it down. Irradiate 20% of your power. You can put a hand on that left, or that whatever your knee you're on the opposite knee. 40% of your power. Flexing, create tension, scoop that foot through the floor. 60% of your power. Whole body's helping here. 80% of your power. Pushing into the ground, make a dent in the floor with your foot. Safest, greatest effort, 100% of your power for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now rail it, rail it. Reverse that effort. Bring your foot up as high as you can. Try to reach your face with your foot. Harder, harder, harder. Squeeze left butt cheek. Squeeze the butt cheek in the back. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax into that new stretch, into that new range. And breathe. For 4. For 3. For 2. One more time. Okay, last rep, best rep. Here we go. Make sure you're at the end of your ability with the stretch. Grab the air, pack it down. If you're gonna put a fulcrum on your knee, go ahead and do it. We radiate, and 20% of your power into the ground. Make sure you're pushing that back knee down also, but focus is on the front foot, scooping it through the floor, 40% of your power. What aren't you flexing? That's the list of the short list. Should be a short list that's going through your head. 60% of your power. Whole body's helping here. Making a dent in the floor. Ice cream scooper. 80% of your power. Everything's on. Safest, greatest effort. 100% of your power for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now rail it. Reverse that effort. Float that foot. Try to catch yourself in the face with your toes for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're amazing. Good stuff. All right. Now, we're going to bring the back knee forward. We're going to extend that front knee. We're going to extend that back knee. We're going to switch the knees. And now we've got the left knee in the front. And now we work the other side. What if I was just like, all right, thanks, bye. leave a little want there. All right, so we scan our stretch and see, remember, winding the body up and finding the end of that active range. And always, as the hips give you a little bit more, take a little bit more. And you're always looking for a little bit more. Operate at the end of your abilities. Just breathe. We'll go in about 30 seconds. It's not a full 2 minutes, but everything's nice and warm since we've been working for a while. Don't tell anybody we skipped the 2-minute barrier. It'll still be productive, I promise. Okay, so in about 20 seconds, we are going to grab that air. We're going to pack it down. I'm wiggling around because I've got some good stuff going on in this hip. It's talking to me. I do remember that. I do remember that. Isometrics like this will help with that. Okay, here we go. Find the end of your stretch, grab the air, pack it down, irradiate. We're scooping that left foot into the ground, 20% of your power. Put your kickstands wherever you need to get the most leverage, 40% of your power. 60% of your power. 80% of your power. Everything's helping. Safest, greatest effort, 100% of your power for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rail it. Try to bring that foot up as best you can. Try to reach your face with the foot, not face to the foot, but foot to the face, rather. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Find the new stretch. Find the new normal. Working the kinks out here, yeah. 5 breaths. Parasympathetic tone. Cracking the spine. 3 more breaths. 2 more. 1 more breath. And grab the air, pack it down. Here we go. Irradiate. 20% of your power into the ground. Ice cream, scoop that foot through the floor. You can put that right hand on left knee if you want. 40% of your power. Drive that foot through the floor. 60% of your power. Whole body's helping. I want to see biceps and triceps, neck, rhomboids, duodenum. No, that's an organ. 60% of your power. 80% of your power. More. Squeeze your butt cheek in the back. Push that leg, shin down in the back. Safest, greatest effort. 100% for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now rail it. Try to lift that foot up off the floor. Try to reach your face with your foot for 8, 7. Squeeze harder. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax into that new range. Find a new range. If you have anything that cramps during that, let it cramp. It's just the tissue asking for oxygen, but it's not going to explode or spontaneously combust or anything. You're going to be fine. Just work through the cramp. Unless it's your heart, then call a doctor. Okay, 3 big breaths. We got 1 more rep there. Scan. Good deep stuff we're feeling today. All right. Here we go. Last rep, best rep. Grab the air, pack it down, and radiate. Press that knee down if you want. 20% of your power into the ground. 40% of your power. Flex everything. I want to see biceps. I want to see triceps. 60% of your power. 80% of your power. Safest, greatest effort, 100% of your power for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now rail it. Reverse that action, flex the top side stuff. Try to get your foot all the way up to your face for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Squeeze harder. 3, 2, 1. And relax into that stretch. Find a deeper angle for 10, for 9, 8. Scan it around. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and awesome. Very good. Now let's take our left knee and let's come around up on all fours. Let's wrap with some cars. See if we can get. I'm going to just shift right, shift left a little bit. That feels pretty nice. Get some oxygen into those. I'm just going to go full circle because that feels pretty nice. Oh, lovely, money penny. All right. Do about 3 clockwise, 3 counterclockwise, whatever speaks to you. That's fine. All right, so right hip, grab the air, pack it down, irradiate, flexion, abduction, external rotation. Internal rotation, and just make a big circle with your knee. If you've come this far, then you don't need all my anatomical directions every single rep. So we're uploading all that new range, all that new information to the central nervous system so that we're kind of like hitting the save button. Perfect. Once you get your 3, switch over to the other side. Grab the air, pack it down. Flexion, abduction, extension. Okay, once you finish your 3, let's come into a seated position. And we're going to do 1 shoulder card each side, but we're going to scrub out that tough area, the tough kind of quarter panel on the back. So, that's okay. Give me 1 car each, and then you're free to go. Okay, so grab the air packet down, externally rotate, bring it up and across. We're just gonna go right back here to this problem area, and we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. If you do it perfectly, your head shouldn't move, your chest shouldn't move. 4, 5. Finish 1 rep. Bring it on back around. Good stuff. Opposite side. Shoulder is the most mobile joint in the body, and with that comes the potential for things to get loud. So there you go. Okay, here we go. Externally rotate, cross the midline of the body. Right here in the problem area, we internally rotate and externally rotate as much as we can. Internal. Head doesn't move, chest doesn't move if you're doing it perfectly. Internal, external, internal, external. 2 more. Internal, external. 1 more. Internal, external. Now internally rotate. Keep that elbow high. Adduct. Hinge it. Finish that rep around. And we are done, my friend.